What a special guest to have on. We got Cam Sorensen. Is it Cam or should I go Camren? What do you want to do? Doesn't matter?
Nope, doesn't matter.
We'll do Camren because it sounds more official. I like that. Mr. Camren Sorensen, and you were out at Ultra 4 today, and you qualified your 4400 car. How'd it go?
My qualifying went really, really good, in my opinion. Last qualifying I did went absolutely horribly. You guys have probably seen the video. I rolled down a hill about 8 times from the top of a cliff to the bottom of a cliff. It was not great. So today I proved myself, and it was a lot better.
Yeah, it looks like right now standings are top 5. I think you're in 5th for tomorrow's start. There's supposed to be a little bit of rain, but I think that'll be good because it'll keep some of the dust down for you. So hopefully that's the case. Also, you had mentioned the first time you've ever driven was at King of the Hammers, right? And you had a crash.
Yes.
On qualifying, and everybody got to see it because it was like the perfect shot. I think RDP was saying he's the photographer for Ultra 4, and he was like, I got that shot of you hitting that and then tumbling down the thing. What was it? What do you think happened there?
Well, we actually know exactly what happened from the aftermath of the crash. Went off. I messed up a turn. I messed up 2 turns, actually. Start line, I was slacking a little bit, and then front end bottomed out on the car, sent me off track. So at that point, I was 20th at the bottom of the first hill. Went up over that hill. By the time I was at the top of the second hill, I was in 2nd. So I jumped from 20th to 2nd. This is like time qualifying, and then pushing it a little too hard, understeered, centered the little mountain thing, bottomed out, went down, front right corner hit, the spindle tore apart, and car just rolled down the hill. It should have took it, but it apparently didn't.
At the end of the day, you're thinking it was a failure of the lower A-arm or the spindle?
We know that it is. Because, like, in the video, you just see it hits, car,
and it just buckles.
It literally, like, the left wheel was pointing straight, right wheel was at a 45-degree angle, more than the car's steering will go, and it just did not go well.
Yeah, it was a spectacular crash, that's to say the least. But you're okay, right? There was no injury to you, just a tumble.
My shin's still messed up from that, but other than that, I'm good.
Did your shin hit the dash? Is that what it was?
Yeah, like 2 of the times I landed upside down, I kicked the steering column.
Okay.
And there's still a giant gash in my shin.
Okay. Well, either way, you rebutted, you got the car fixed, and you're here in Moab, and you got to go out today and qualify. You did really well. And what's the plan for tomorrow going in? So you don't have a whole lot of seat time in this car, right? Because you got it real short time period before Hammers, so you didn't have a whole lot of time to get in it and drive there, right?
No. We actually bought the car 2 weeks before Hammers.
Yep.
I drove it 1 time before we actually went out to the lake bed. Went out to the lake bed. I did half a lap of qualifying in the car, and then not qualifying, half a lap of pre-running in the car. Went straight into qualifying. I did incredibly good in qualifying until I didn't. But now we almost got the car back together in time for the race, but at that point my shin was still at a gash down to the bone, and the car was like, it was 2 a.m. and the car got ready, and by the time the car would get to Hammers, it would be race day, already like everyone on the starting line by the time the car would get there. So we would need to tech the car and then start, and by that point we never knew, but it was a 13-hour race after that, which was crazy.
Kind of a blessing in disguise that you didn't rush to get it started. But either way, you got it back together. We're going to give it another shot. What's the plan for tomorrow going into the Moab race with potential rain on the way?
I'm actually happy that it's going to rain because, I mean, that track is incredibly dusty. So we were qualifying out there today, not qualifying, pre-running yesterday, and I pre-ran in my Mavar, did 2 good laps, and it was incredibly dusty. Then after that, first lap, there's the 2 drops that you hit in qualifying. And then first drop, did good, great. This is first lap. First drop, good, great. Second drop, great. And then came back around for the second lap, dropped again, and there was a new rock there. So clipped that rock, front left tore, like the entire front left of the car is gone now. But that was a little bit, I don't know what the word for that is, but it didn't feel great. But right after that, went and hopped in the 44 car, got to drive that thing more, and got a lot of seat time in that car yesterday. Did basically another 2 full laps, which that was an hour.
Yeah, well, it sounds like you're finally getting some seat time, and you got to stop wrecking the dang Can-Ams, dude.
Yeah. Well,
Didn't you tell me not too long ago you crashed another one?
no, same car.
Oh, same car. Cool.
I never crashed it, but that car was completely stock at the start of Hammers.
Yeah.
And at the end of Hammers, it had new arms, new radius rods, and tires. So we did a new set of tires that were rock crawling tires because we had the Tensor desert tires on there. And I pre-ran a quarter of the course with desert tires on the car with stock radius rods, stock A-arms. And then next day, we got new tires for the car, went and did some more trails. On the way back, we hit a downhill, and the car was just being beat up. And the car did not like that. So rear lower radius rod got super bent, and then we started on the way back. The car was driving sideways. I'm like, this is not right. So I get on a little bit, and then we bottom out. Rear right radius rod breaks, and the car just turns straight this way and went off track. And we got out to see what it was. Rear radius rod broke. Tire was pointing this way, and this one was pointing straight. So that was not good. Right after that, next day, we got nice radius rods for it, CT. And then next day we went out and pre-ran another half of the course, and we were going down Spooners. The car literally just, like, we saw the front left tire moving back and forth. We got out, and the back of the A-arm was cracked, just like all the way around.
It was still stock though.
Yeah. Basically, that car was completely stock before Hammers.
Hey, taking a stock car and go and run Hammers trails is ballsy. That's a lot of pressure to put on a stock drivetrain for sure, especially the A-arms and the trailing arms and all that good stuff.
Oh yeah, I also cracked a trailing arm.
I have no doubt. Do you have all CT stuff now? All right, everybody. I want to give a quick shout out to CT Raceworks. CT Raceworks makes the baddest parts in the industry, including the parts that Kyle Chaney uses to win the 2025 King of the Hammers 4400 race. Now, if you would like to use those same parts, feel free to go over to CT Raceworks and use the Our Day Off discount code, and that will get you a 5% discount on your entire order at any time. So that's Our Day Off discount code upon checkout. Back to the show.
We have CA front arms, CT rear radius rods, but I'm just going to say thanks to CA because they gave us a brand new set of A-arms, and they were like, just shout us out on your Instagram, and
that's great.
Yeah,
so
that's
perfect.
Now I'm going to start running the rest of the CA stuff. We're trying to get the rear trailing arms, CA rear radius rods, and just the rest of the CA stuff.
Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, you got to beef up them side-by-sides, dude. Oh, yeah. They come stock, and they're pretty nice for, like, trail riding and dune running and stuff like that. You know, your everyday trail stuff. You can beat them pretty hard, but Hammers is a whole nother ballgame.
Oh, yeah.
You can't just go out there. I mean, you can, but it's not going to last very long, as you found out.
Well, I mean, we made the first 3 days of the trip without breaking anything. Well, kind of.
Yeah. But small stuff. I mean, yeah, that's normal. Well,
when we went out to Hammers, we did roll cage just because to make the car safe. Roll cage, and then I added my own little special edition. I took a simulator shifter, like a race sim, and took all the Hall effect sensor and everything out of it, and just put 2 radio buttons in there. So like when you pull back, it hits this button. When you push forward, it hits this button, and wired them up to the paddle shifters. So now in that car, I have a sequential shifter, which only a couple of other Can-Ams have that, and the one that you can buy is $5,000, and it's not even released yet.
Holy cow.
And I made that one for $120.
Nice, dude. And it works good?
Yeah, it works great. I've had no problems with that car.
That's awesome. Heck yeah. Well, I don't know. There's a lot of people probably watching this that are big off-road fans, and they may not know a whole lot of your backstory. So yeah, you're racing off-road now, but you also race drift cars.
Yes.
So talk to us about some drift cars, dude. I have a very soft spot for drift cars. I built a drift car, I was telling you the other day, out of a Can MX-3, and you kind of laughed at me because you're like, you got to have an angle kit, and that thing's going to, it would probably be fun. But what I will say is I agree with you on that, and it does not steer nearly far enough, but it is four-wheel drive, so it's like drifting a rally car. So it's like having, you can cyclone that thing in a 10-foot radius. I think the car is 12 foot long, so 12-foot radius. You can almost go a cyclone, perfect circle. So, and it's 400 horse, just shy of 400 horse.
400 horse.
It's
How
just
do you
shy.
get 400 horse out of a Mavar?
Evo? No, not a Mavar.
Oh.
X3.
Oh.
X3. So it's a little lighter, a little smaller, but it has a Ford Raptor body on it.
Oh, yeah, you were telling me about that.
Yeah, so it kind of looks like a mini Ford Raptor. So anyway, I've fallen in love with drifting just because of that little truck that I've built, and I am no drift guy. Like, you would probably laugh at me watching me drift, but I just love it. I have a blast doing it. I'll go to parking lots and stuff back home, and we went and did a couple shows in California with that truck. We did like the Sand Sports show in California, and the Off-Road Expo where they have the burnout pit and stuff. I did those, and we had a friggin' blast, dude.
Yeah, that sounds great.
All that said, talk to me about drift, dude. I want to go.
Well, drifting, for you guys, drifting is basically, if you have your driver's license, you have wanted to take your car in a parking lot and just go slide it around. That's basically all drifting is. You're driving through a drift track, or you're driving through a racetrack, but sliding sideways as you would do if you're 16-year-old and you go find a parking lot.
Right.
So it's
a little bit of snow on the ground and you're just drifting in the drive in the parking lot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
but you guys are going really fast.
It's that professionally.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, those cars, you would think that drifting is slow, but no, some of our drift cars are actually faster than a lot of race cars. Like road race cars. So my car, we have so much, you would think that you don't want any grip in the tires for drifting, but it's the exact opposite. For drifting, you want we have more grip than NASCARs in our car, set up in our cars. So you could go take my BMW drift car, straighten the front tires out so they have no camber, you have to get the correct contact patch, and you can go road race that car and be competitive, probably.
Really? What kind of motor are you guys putting in those?
We run a BMW E46 and we put an LS with a Whipple supercharger on it. Okay. So the car is set up with 1,300 horsepower crank, basically right around 1,000 wheel. The car is absolutely insane. It's so fun to drive.
I bet. I've watched so many drift events and I'm blown away every single time. I've watched a bunch of Vaughn's stuff and the whole world they've built around drifting with all his Ford stuff. It's wild. It's insane. I don't understand the point system. I've never really figured that out. How that works, like how when they do the tandem thing, like who's winning and how that all plays out. How's that work?
So, point system, I've heard this analogy used before, but it's like ice skating, but with cars. So, it's 3 judges, 1 for angle, 1 for style, and 1 for line. So, each car runs twice. So, you have a lead driver and a chase driver. It's a top 32 bracket. It's a 32 car bracket, and it just goes down the list of a lead driver, chase driver, start. They do a run, so the chase driver has to mimic exactly what the lead driver does with same angle, same everything.
Okay.
And then the lead driver basically has to get in all the zones. So there's zones laid out on the track that you have to put the car in. So there's a inner clip, outer zone. So the zone is, if you have a banked track, there's going to be an outer zone all the way around the edge. So you have to put the rear of the car in the outer zone. Same thing with outer clips and inner clips. But clipping points are just, you have to hit this one point on the track. As well, zones are, you have to stay in the zone all the way around the turn.
Gotcha. So what is the more preferred position? Do you want to be the lead or the chase?
It depends on who you're driving with. If you're driving with someone really, really good and you know you can trust them, chasing is way more fun because you get to get inches away from this lead driver, just transitioning, scraping the bumper, getting back into it, just inches from them the entire time. Whereas in leading, it's still fun if you but it's all about trust in drifting. So if you're a chase driver and you don't trust the lead driver, you have to back off, because if you're an inch away from them, all you get is you can't see through the smoke. So you just see their brake lights and then maybe the front of the car. You can't see the rest of the track. So if they're going into the wall, you're following them straight into the wall. So it's all about trust. And then with lead driver, it's still fun leading, because you get to go slide a car around a track at 100 miles an hour sideways.
But is there less risk being the lead driver because you're kind of in control of where you're leading the other person?
It's risky in both spots, but yes, it's a lot less risk in being the lead driver.
Because it sounds like the guy following has like a lot of pressure on him. You've got to be, and the point is to get close, right? You guys want to be tight and stay nice and symmetrical the whole time, and basically dance, I mean, you called it like ice skating, but it's kind of like dancing cars, you're kind of, staying tight together, which is really cool. I didn't really realize that's how it worked. I didn't legitimately know how they did the point system. So that's interesting. I would totally crash. Yeah, I'm a loose cannon out there. And plus I've never driven a drift car, you know what I mean? Yeah. So I don't know how that works anyway. And I have been told that there's actually, and you confirmed it, that there's a lot of traction. Like you have to you have to be throttled into that thing to get it to slide.
It's full commitment. If you're not with bank tracks, so in the cars, we have a hydraulic handbrake.
Right.
You push the clutch down, pull the handbrake, and it locks up the rear tires. If you don't push the clutch down, you pull the handbrake, and it'll just stall the car, because rear tires stop. It's all.
Yep.
With the cars, we have a handbrake. Most tracks, you would just lightly flick it in, grab the handbrake to get the car settled, and just let it off and go around the course. But with bank tracks, it's so much commitment in the car that you have to flick it into the turn, no handbrake. You just lay it in full throttle the entire time. And if you aren't going fast enough, you'll cut down the bank, you'll lose points. If you're going too fast, you'll go into the wall and once again lose points or lose your car. So when you're going around the turn, it's just purely about commitment. So bank tracks, you have to be super committed. Even non-bank tracks, well, like Irwindale is a bank track. Not anymore because they took Irwindale down, but it's a track in California. That track is the first bank track I've ever driven in, and it is a professional, like, top-level FD track. And it's like Brandon, my brother, he was telling me how to do that track, and he was like, okay, so what you have to do, go in, turn right a little bit, point it, like you point the car just towards the wall. The wall's right here. You point the car towards the wall, and then you flick it in. You get the car to lose traction because you just kind of, it's like you're trying to spin out, but on purpose.
Right.
So you flick it in, get the car to lose traction, and you just stay on throttle the entire time around the turn. And our cars are set up so in the back of them, we have about a foot of collapse. Uh-huh. So it's all fiberglass.
Right.
And the car will basically, the rear end will just collapse a foot.
Right.
So when you're going around the turn, you're dragging the bumper and scraping the bumper all the way around.
Yeah, you're trying to get as close to that top wall as you possibly can. Mm-hmm. That's so insane. Like, I actually was at one of those events that I did, and I was standing close to the wall, and they had some trucks that were drift trucks, like C10 trucks, and they were pretty cool, but they weren't like competition trucks or anything. It's just stuff that people had built that they were going out there. I think it was an exhaust company that was out there that had built these trucks, and they were doing that same thing, and they were getting real close to the wall, and we were standing right on the K-rail, and they were coming by, and you were shooting rubber and smoke and everything right up the wall right in front of us, dude. That was so cool. I didn't realize they could go so fast and still have control like that. I mean, they were flying. So I would be super, super pumped to see you drive that car. Yeah. And I think something we need to talk about that maybe the listeners don't know. You're 14 years old, dude. So how did you learn how to do all this stuff? Did you spend a lot of time on sim growing up? Did you just learn from your brother and your sister? Because they're both amazing drift drivers, amazing drivers of all aspects, right? So how did you learn all this stuff?
I don't know.
Don't know? Just comes natural?
No. So with drifting, I've had 4,000 hours on the simulator and just driving lap after lap. Atlanta, the track that's the first round of Formula Drift, I have, I think, 400 hours on that track, just driving lap after lap after lap.
Okay, so is it close to the same thing? How close is the sim?
So it's actually better to learn on the sim than to learn in a car. If you learn in a car and then go to sim, you're going to be bad at the sim. if you go from a sim and go to a car, you're going to be good at the car, because when you go from car to sim, you lose the feeling of the car, like the rumble and then like the G-forces, so you don't feel the car. But when you go from sim to car, in the sim, you only have gas, brake, clutch, handbrake, shifter, and steering wheel. So you don't get the full motion.
Right.
There are sims that do that, but they cost about $60,000.
Yeah.
And I don't see any point in that. So it's fun to drive, but there's no like gain in having a motion sim, in my opinion. But don't get me wrong, it's incredibly fun with a motion sim. But in the sim, it is near identical to driving in real life.
I'm gonna have to try some sim driving, is what it sounds like.
Yeah, you gotta if you want to get good at drifting, you gotta hop in the sim.
Yeah, that's so crazy to hear, because I've drove a couple sims, off-road related sims. I think Dave Cole's got a few at his shop. I've done the ones that don't have motion. Then I've done his at PRI that has the motion, where it's got the hydraulics, or I think it's on servos actually.
Yeah, that's
You met him there, didn't you?
Yeah.
At PRI?
Yeah.
I think you said that when
Yep.
we talked about it. But yeah, I've driven that one, and that was really cool. And then I actually, a year ago, PRI, so not this past one, the one before that, because I live in Indiana, so I go to every PRI. I got to drive one of the road course sims on the other end of the building that's down in like the Lucas Oil Stadium.
Yeah, the Lucas Oil Stadium.
And that thing was literally so violent when you would crash the car that it was jumping the machine off the floor. Like, because it was a full motion. It was a full motion. The seatbelts would tighten when you'd hit the brakes. The seatbelts would tighten to give you the feeling of like leaning forward in the car. Mm-hmm. I was blown away at how animatronic that whole setup was. It literally gave you that G-force feeling in a game when you're not moving.
So the only that is great for the desert. I also drive BeamNG, the desert game, and I'm on that game every single day on the sim. I've spent probably the same amount of time on Drift Sim as I have on Beam, and it is so realistic. It's crazy, but that is the problem with the motion sim in drifting. Is when you're drifting, it's all arcs, so you don't get the constant G-force. But when you're doing desert, you get up to speed and you kind of stay the same speed the whole time, so you don't get a lot of back and forth. But except for that just little bit, which the sim can actually deliver, the motion sim can actually deliver, and you all get the up and down. So in the desert, the motion sims are the best, but for drifting, I'd say it's more beneficial to have a normal sim.
Just a static one that stays still, and you can just focus on your craft of actually driving the car and not have to worry about all the extra bull that comes with it. So cool. So neat to hear. Those things have come so far in the last, I feel like, 5 years, that I can't imagine what it's going to be in the next 5 years, with those sims. It's insane, especially with AI coming and the VR stuff that's going on. My kids have a VR goggles that blow my mind every time I put them on. You can feel like you're falling off a cliff just wearing stupid goggles. So I don't know. It's wild, man. It's wild. So listen, let's jump back to Ultra 4, because that's literally why you're here, right? You're here to go racing in Ultra 4. So you're 14 years old. You're put behind the wheel of how many horsepower is your car? 700 horse?
Right around 800, yeah.
Yeah, 800 horse. It's a Campbell car, and it's 2-seat, right? 2-seat Campbell car. Who's your co-driver this year?
Who's Guy Miller.
Okay, perfect. Great. And how's that going? Good?
Yeah.
Good relationship?
Yeah, I met him yesterday.
Perfect. Yeah. Well, you got some time in. You did great at qualifying. It seems like you're finally starting to settle into the car a little bit. And I know I can only imagine being a young man like yourself and then being able to step into a 4400 car. I'm going to be 40 this year, and we're going to cut that part out if I'm telling anybody. But anyway, I'm going to be 40 in June, and I've wanted to race a 4400 car since I was your age, and I still haven't done it. I got to race 4800 last year at King of the Hammers for the first time, and I qualified first. So I know I can do it. I just gotta get a car.
See, I got thrown into the deepest end of rock racing.
Yeah, you got thrown to the wolves, dude.
Like, the only other Ultra 4 events I've ever done were 2 King of Hammers in the Youth UTV 1000. Last year, I won it, the Youth 1000. Year before, we had some car issues. I started dead last, worked my way up to first, and then got a flat tire. My brother took 30 minutes to change the tire, which is not normal.
Did you not have a jack or something?
We had a jack. We
Okay.
had everything. He couldn't find the socket to change the tire.
Oh, you have to have it.
It was sitting right in front of him the entire time. Yeah.
Well,
But took him 30 minutes to change the tire. Then the car went into limp mode for the next 40 miles. So I was topped out at 40 miles an hour. And I was still passing other people. And I ended up finishing 5th. Brandon was still my co-driver, and then he took me the wrong way around the course for about 10 minutes, and then we had to backtrack the wrong way, and then it was right at the back door.
Yep.
So like when you're dropping into back door, we went left around, and then had to go U-turn and then back down the back door. So yeah.
Fun times.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Then last year, I won it. I started dead last again in my speed UTV, and ended up I passed 52 cars.
Holy cow.
There were only 18 cars in my class.
Gotcha.
So I was working my way up the entire time, just passing people, person after person after person, the entire way on that race. What's funny is I ended up beating Robbie Gordon in the first lap of that race because he was in a speed car.
Yeah.
And I was in another speed car, and I beat him in his own car. I ended up finishing 17th. First in the UTV 1000, but 17th overall in time.
Gotcha.
For the first lap.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, you've had some great mentors in your life. Both your siblings are super fast, and they've been doing it for a long time. So you've had it in your blood for sure. And it seems like you're finally getting the hang of it. And I have high hopes for you in the Ultra 4 car and 4400. I'm jealous. I wanna go racing in 4400. That's super sweet. I'm really happy you're doing it. What's the goal? What's the goal with the off-road?
Keep doing it.
Keep doing it.
This has been my dream for half my life, 7 years.
Mm-hmm. Okay, fair enough. So was it you've always had a love for off-road?
Yeah.
Okay.
Always. Before that, from basically practically 1-year-old to 7-year-old, I've wanted to race a trophy truck. And then I saw an Ultra 4 for the first time, and I was like, that's what I want to do. It's a 4-wheel drive trophy truck that you could go up practically anything and go over anything in.
It really is the coolest racing of all time. Everyone calls them the Swiss Army knife of off-road racing because you can do everything with them. They won't necessarily run down a trophy truck in the desert, but they'll sure beat them in the rocks. So they're a little bit of everything. And I'm super pumped for where the sport's going. It's been really, really good to me and all my friend group. So welcome to the off-road racing community. It's a pleasure to have you, sir. I'm impressed. And is there anybody you want to thank before we hop off of here? You got to thank Dad.
Yeah,
you got to
that's my
thank
main
Dad.
two. My parents, Mom and Dad, my biggest sponsors. They do pay for everything for right now. Now I'm trying to get all the sponsors to start paying for my racing program, just so when I get older and they don't have to pay for it anymore. But that's my main two: my mom, my dad, and then my brother, my sister. Amanda is she handled all my marketing for the past 2 years, and she got my Instagram decently big, decently large, and Brandon has taught me basically everything about driving that I know.
Well, that's great. Well, you've had some awesome mentors. You're really doing it, dude. Pat you on the back. This is pretty cool to see.
Thank you.
I hope you have a great day tomorrow racing Ultra 4 in the 4400 class here in Moab. And we're going to go ahead and jump off here so we can get some more people on. But it's been an absolute pleasure to talk to you, sir, and meet you and learn about everything you've been involved in. Dude, you've done some wild stuff, and you're only 14 years old. So proud of you. Keep it up. Keep pushing. Keep learning. And you got a bright future ahead of you, sir. So
thank you.
Very cool to have you on. This is the Our Day Off podcast, everybody. Thank you, Camren Sorensen, for coming on. This has been a lot of fun, and hopefully we'll have you on again. Hopefully we can talk to you after you win tomorrow.
Yep. Thank you. Yeah. Hopefully that's the case.
All righty, buddy. We'll see you guys later.
See ya.